Hello and welcome back to the Age of Gaming. This video will actually be a tribute video to another couple of videos created by the YouTube channel Commodore History. He made a couple of videos that he recently put up that were just so good that I had to basically duplicate them and maybe do it a little bit differently, but his content is just absolutely out of this world. It's just perfect. So mine won't be near as good, but I'll try to show you a few different ways that I had to do things and show you a couple of the things that I ran into while trying to duplicate his work. So let's get started. Right now you can see up in the top left I have a 2732, which is a 4K EEPROM connected to my CoreSham extender board, and a wire running from the chip select over here to my CoreSham application board. Now I have it set currently for chip select K1, so I should see that ROM chip at 0400. So let's just turn it on and see what we have. And if we go to address 0400, there we have the program that I burned onto this ROM chip. So that's working. Now I'm not going to go so much into the technical details, but I will go in and show you a few things that I've learned. Like I said, I'm not going to go heavy into the technical details. You can watch my friend's videos over at Commodore History to get all the information you need. So I'm just going to touch base here. The KIM-1 uses a single 74-145 to address up to 8K of memory addresses. And it uses address lines AB10 through AB12 to do that. And it breaks everything up into 1K chunks. K0 goes to the 1K of memory that's on board, while K1 through K4 are available for attaching other devices to, and that's what we're going to be using. K5, 6, and 7 go to the two 6530 devices on board. So basically all we need to know is how to connect something to K1 through K4. Okay, I want to quickly go over the wiring to wire our 4K EEPROM to our KIM-1. All we need from the expansion port is the address and data lines, and we only need address lines A0 through A9, so you can see here A10 and A11 are going to ground, and we're also going to put output enable to ground. VCC of course goes to 5 volts and ground goes to 0. And that's all we have to do as far as the expansion port is concerned. Address lines and data lines. Now, to get to the K1 through K4 chip select lines that we want, I'm going to use the CoreSham application board that you see right here. And I'm going to be using pins 3, 4, 5, and 6 of JP5 here to access K1, K2, K3, and K4. And that's it. Oh, here's a note right over here. Turn off all 4 dip switches here. Now when I first started this, I had all 4 of them turned on, and for some reason when I would, connect up to K1, yeah, I would see my ROM there, but I'd also see it at 800, I'd also see it at 0C100, and I'd also see it at 1000. So it was like driving me crazy. Why am I seeing this? It looked like it was mirroring at all of these addresses. Once I turned these switches off, then when I addressed the K1, that's all I got was at 400 I could see my ROM, and that was as far as it went. Let's take another look at 2732 that I already have wired up, and we'll go ahead and switch it from K1 to K2 and then do K3 and K4 so that you can see all of these addresses showing up. Okay, back here at our 2732 experiment, I'm going to go ahead and shut this off and move the jumper wire over here to K2, which is pin 4. Turn it back on. Hit reset. And then if we go to 0400, we no longer see our ROM there. That's all we see is 04s. But now if I go to address 0800, there we go. But if we go to 0C100, all we see is 0Cs. Let me turn this off and show you what I was talking about with these dip switches in the on position. This one really drove me crazy for a little while. So I'm on K2 right now. I turn it on. The only place I should see my ROM is at 0800. And I see it there, but I also see it at 0400, 0C100, and at 1000. So that was driving me crazy. So make sure you turn those dip switches off. Let's turn them back off. Now we'll move to K, what is it? K1, K2, K3. And that should be 0C100. There you go. And finally, we can use chip select K4, and we should see our ROM at 1000. And there you go. And of course, we don't see it at 400. We don't see it at 800. We don't see it at 0C100. We only see it at 1000, where we're supposed to see it. Okay, that's enough for the 2732. Let's move on to expanding our KIM-1 above the first 8K.